We want to transition our conversation to right here in Virginia when it comes to our children who are in school. There's a new report that is quite positive for the Commonwealth. For a while, we saw after the pandemic that the state was dealing with rising absenteeism, students who weren't going to class when we came back into school full time. And Germyah Batey is joining us now, one of our reporters, on a new study that has found that the numbers are not only better, but there is at least one clear reason why we think they have improved. Germyah, what is the story that you're working on, and what have they found?
Hey there. So I spoke with the director of No Kid Hungry, Sarah Steely. Sorry, let me say that right, Sarah Steely. And she basically broke it down and said it all comes down to making breakfast easier for students to get. So what they did here was basically allow students the opportunity to not only get breakfast at the start of their day, but also after the bell. So in between first or second period. And they found by having, allowing this accessibility for students, children would come to school because that's one less thing for parents to worry about. They know, if we get our kids to school, they at least have breakfast and lunch covered. So that's kind of the idea of that. And when kids, we talk about it all the time, when they have food, how that improves focus and really drives and increases their focus in school in the classroom. So this initiative really kind of showed how this has really changed things for schools across Hampton Roads and, of course, in the state.
So basically, they're kind of saying that, hey, as we feed the children in the morning and find different ways to make sure that they have food, they're coming to school, right? So they're linking those two things.
Yeah, they're coming to school. They're finishing the school day, and it's really positive. And I do want to say chronic absenteeism dropped to 14.8%, and that is down from more than 20% during the COVID-19 pandemic. And Sarah Steely said it proves that focusing on school breakfast is a powerful strategy to connect kids with the school day and with nutrition they need to thrive. So that's something positive that she shared with us.
Yeah, there's been a lot of studies over the years that kind of look at how you are how your brain functions when you don't eat. And I mean, listen, I'm a few years removed from high school and middle school and elementary school. But I remember the difference between the stretches of days where I didn't have anything, going into that first period, and when I knew I could eat something. Like I remember even, also being an athlete in school, there was a real difference. You feel sluggish. You're definitely not as sharp. Now as an adult.
That's what I was going to say.
Same thing.
It doesn't matter if you're a child. As an adult, if I don't have my overnight oats in the breakfast, which is for me a big deal, and some coffee, I'm not the greatest person to interact with. And that is just the truth. But
I don't know what you're talking about.
Important. It's your fuel, I like to say. It's, especially if you're getting that protein, the eggs and all that good stuff. It's good for your brain and your energy, and for these students, I mean, that's important. And,
also we know there are a lot of students, if they are not fed at school, unfortunately, they may not get a meal. There is a large percentage of young people where their primary meals during the day, because of the circumstances that they face at home and their families may face, they are eating at school. Those are like their core meals that they are often getting throughout the day. It's the same reason why schools for years now have provided free lunches during the summertime for families to come and pick up, because they know that there is a food insecurity issue amongst families and kids in our community. So it makes sense that these two things would be connected. And so, I mean, is there anything else that we found in this particular report? I'm sure that the governor and others are looking at this, and they're very excited to see it.
So there were 4 divisions that had the highest participation when it came to seeing this positive feedback. That was Chesapeake, Norfolk, Virginia Beach, and Newport News. They made the top 10 of the list. So for those divisions, I mean, that's amazing news to hear. That means students are starting to come. They're keeping up with those numbers, and students are being fed. So they're doing a really good job with that.
Yeah, and I know we're actually, if I remember correct, we're a few years removed. It was a few years ago, 24, 23, I think, Governor Youngkin created a task force specifically for chronic absenteeism. And at the time, looking at the data, the administration said that they were concerned, as you mentioned previously, that there were more students who just weren't showing up for school during COVID, which was, some might argue, is easier to show up, but a lot of others, we learned, would say no, actually, motivating a kid to show up to class and their parents to be involved too. If they're not, even something as simple as clicking on a stream or Zoom, didn't necessarily happen for a lot. Yeah. So anyway, that task force, I know they started a few years after things kind of got back into what it was supposed to be. Is this partnering with this study at all?
Yes, the All in Virginia plan, which is with Governor Glenn Youngkin's administration. So they did highlight that analysis in that report that found, extreme chronic absenteeism all those years ago, and now they're happy to report that's improved. And I do want to talk about Steely also shared that they hope to keep the momentum going, looking at no-cost meal options for families to continue reaching more and more students, because they're just seeing numbers improve. Parents are getting their children to school, and these children are learning. So that's all around good.
No, that is good. I think each of us have obviously we've gone to school, so we remember these days. And I know Sarah is busy over here at the moment, but I wanted to pull her in to Sarah. I mean, even for you, do you remember kind of any differences that you may have felt in motivation or performance if you weren't able to get that meal to start off your day?
Yeah, I would say so. And I think especially right now with the cost of groceries, it makes a really big difference. With inflation, the cost of groceries, it makes a really big difference to just be able to go to school and have it there, as opposed to having to do it before you get to school. I think that's another big reason why it is probably making a huge difference right now.
Yeah, I mean, and it's funny because as a kid, you don't always think about that, but your parents are.
Yes.
And they're the ones that are having to crunch the numbers and figure out whether or not they can go and get X, Y, and Z from the store or just get X and Y. You know what I mean? And so I think that obviously then trickles down to the students. You may not fully understand, why I don't have, something that I can just eat beforehand to go to school, or after school. All of that factors in with the inflation right now.
Yeah, and like I said before, it really takes the weight off the parents. I mean, I went to the grocery store, what was that? Last weekend, $200, maybe $260 plus for 2 weeks. I shop for 2 weeks. So thank God I'm just a single woman, but if I'm a family of 5, could you imagine? You really have to make some magic, make the impossible possible.
Listen, that's what
thank God for these schools out here that are really, putting in the work and trying to meet these families where they are.
Yeah, so. It makes a difference. It makes an impact. You just mentioned just the grocery prices. I mean, my mom would say it often, with her and me, you find a way to make a way. And, I get it now as an adult, likewise. But that's when you get creative for a lot of people, when you try to stretch things further than what you can. But there are a lot of families right now that are in that predicament, just like you mentioned, families of 5, etc. We've been talking to the food banks over the course of the weeks, and how many more people have been showing up there at our local food banks who need support, people who haven't done it before. So it's not this picture of, when people think about food insecurity, people who are kind of pinched right now, it's not just this, they're not, they're homeless or, they're without a job or unemployed. No, these are people who are neither of those things, but the budget has had to adjust. and that also can trickle down. But Germyah, if you doing that though, the 200. I mean, if you want to drop off some plates at the at work,
we meal prep, which is a huge tool I enjoy. I get my proteins, my veggie, and my rice. You can't mess up with that. So
always.
That's something good that I enjoy doing. But
especially with our schedule.
Oh yeah.
With Germyah and I, we're both daybreak, so early. The sun is not up yet.
Yes.
And so you just got to prepare in ahead of time. So anyway, but Germyah, anything else with this that you have? I mean, this is great to hear for the Commonwealth of Virginia.
I have nothing else, but look, I say but if you're watching this and you're family in need and you want to learn more about programs, reach out to your school. You'll be connected to someone that can help you and make sure you have what you need. Your student has what they need. So there are resources out there. It's just a matter of you contacting the right people.
Okay. All right. Germyah Batey with that report, and that's going to be airing today.
Yes.
At noon, in a few minutes?
A few minutes.
In a few minutes at noon on 13 News Now at noon. Okay, Germyah, we appreciate you sticking with us. I'll go ahead and let you get on out if you need to do something else before your day ends.
Come on.
Okay, if you want to stay in, that is perfectly fine with me because we only have another few minutes here at the end. It's funny because I've been trying to get you back here since I think the last time we had you on our stream.
Practice, wasn't it?
We were not even live yet. We were practicing, and I think something was happening in Portsmouth also to support children. There was something also to support children in Portsmouth. But yeah, man, you need to come on more often. It'd be great. Bring great reports like this so we can tell the people and where they can get the resources. Did you say exactly where they can get the resources, or should they just look for this?
They'll have to reach out to the school. In their division, in their district. I know that's interchangeable, but they'll have to reach out and find those resources. But I know Virginia Beach has an array of resources ready for families once they contact them. So
okay.
That is definitely an option.
And like I said before, food banks, all those kind of things. There are other organizations too within the community. I'm just thinking off the top of my head that do support families who need it. I think of 4Kids. I think of a few other things, organizations. So hopefully people can look into that as well.